Hi, hello, welcome to Dwa Monk's Works and Worlds. It is Monday, Monk 80 or 81. I have, as always, lost track, but thank you for being with me here today. I'm going to very quickly go through the things that I usually go through, which are how is writing going, how is knitting going, and how are things in Monkland in general. Also, just to bring this up, if you are curious about something or have some questions or want me to cover something else in my videos, give me some suggestions down below. I'd be happy to do other things or talk on other subjects. I'm wondering after, a full year and a bit of doing this exact order of writing, knitting, and Monkland in general, if we're ready to branch out into other things. So if you have ideas, let me know. I'm certainly willing to cover other things. Okay, so let's see. Let's start off with writing. How's writing going? Writing's not going very good right now, which I'm not surprised. Things have been very busy, and I think I'm ever hopeful. I hope this week will be more in the swing of things. So it isn't going badly. It just isn't going how I want, which is pretty much, I think, what I say almost every week. So things aren't going badly, but it's time for an improvement. There should be an uptick here pretty soon, and I'm ready for that. How is knitting going? Knitting's going good. If you were here and saw last week, I have the new knit toy for the September newsletter. This is a vampire bat just in time for Halloween, and this little bat guy will be given away in the September newsletter. I am currently working on choosing the next toy for the next newsletter in October, and I have a couple other projects that I want to do that'll just be fun, including I think I want to knit a puppet, and I haven't ever knit a puppet before, so we're going to see how that goes. I looked through a bunch of patterns and I didn't see one that I wanted, so I'm going to kind of make it up. Like I will follow a pattern, one that I found online, and then just modify it, I think. We'll see how it turns out. It's not going to, well, we'll see. I'm not going to presuppose how it's going to turn out. I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, knitting is going well. The weather has turned, it's rainy and foggy, and that always makes me want to knit more. I want to knit some ridiculous hats again. Some fingerless gloves would be nice, and definitely some more toys. It's just that cozy weather feeling. It's always nice to get knitting needles and work on the project. And one of the things, if you're a knitter that you know about, or a crocheter or somebody who works with yarn, is if you're in the heat, in the really hot weather like the summer, it's hot. Yarn is hot. So like if you're working on a blanket or a big project like a sweater in the summertime, when it's hot, it's kind of hot knitting, especially if you're not in an air conditioned place. So like once the weather cools off a little bit like it is right now, it's kind of nice to get into the bigger knit projects or just do more knit projects, because that kind of coziness, feels really nice when the weather is cool. So yeah, knitting is going well. Thank you. And lastly, how are things going in Monkland? Things are going well. Thank you. I think just kind of tying things down in the yard a little bit for the rain that's come in. Made a little progress on that, which is good. And otherwise, I'm still eyeing those apples. I went out and picked up the wind fallen apples. So just the apples that had fallen out of one of our apple trees and were on the ground. And we're still in pretty good shape. And those apples I picked up, and I basically have a wheelbarrow, not like a little wheelbarrow, but like your regular worksite size wheelbarrow full of apples that I'm going to turn into applesauce and apple butter. And I was thinking of getting to that today, but that might be more later in the week. And hopefully I'll get that done. That also feels very autumny, doesn't it? Going out and getting apples and turning them into applesauce and apple butter. I still have plenty on the trees too, so I need to pick some of those and get those, made up into applesauce and apple butter. And I don't know, maybe for apple pies, the kind of apples that we have aren't great for pies and cobblers, so I'm waffling on that a little more, but definitely some sauce and apple butter, which if you don't know what apple butter is, I'm assuming you do, but if you do not know what apple butter is, it's like an apple jam, and it's delicious. It tastes like apples and cinnamons and sugar, and it's wonderful. So yeah, hoping to get some of that done, and I'm still hoping to get grape jelly done, but we'll see how that works out. I'm not going to, stress about it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, there's next year. There's more grapes yet that will grow. So yeah, things have just been, pretty good. I did take the electric bike out for another short ride. I went down to the bank to do a deposit in their drive-through, and I wasn't sure if they were going to allow a bike in the drive-through because there are some coffee shops that won't, and fast food places that won't allow you to order through the drive-through if you're on a bicycle, which I don't know why they don't. That doesn't seem reasonable to me. But so I went to the drive-through deposit area at the bank and waited behind a car and then, rolled forward. And the guy behind the glass didn't blink an eye at me being there on a bike. He's just like, yeah, use a little tube thing that, sucks the money through the tube over to him. And he took care of it and sent me a receipt back. And that was it. So it was really easy. The only thing that I would do different next time is I had decided to put the receipt in a part of my wallet that also I have quarters in. And for some reason, I have a lot of quarters in my wallet right now. Not a normal thing. I don't know if I put them in there because I was going to, maybe, months and months ago, I was going to someplace that needed quarters, like a parking meter or something. I actually have no idea. But for some reason, I had a lot of quarters in my change part of my wallet. And I had that in my bike basket. And when I went to put the receipt in my wallet tipped in the bike basket. I had quarters everywhere in my bike basket. And the bike basket is a little like wicker thing, but it has slots that like coins can fall through. And none of the coins had fallen through it, which was good. And there was no car behind me, which was also good. So I was able to like pick all of the coins out and put them back in my purse before they just spilled all over the ground, because then I would have had to, I don't know, go forward with my bike, get off the bike, get on the ground, get the quarters while a car was waiting. I don't know. I'm glad that scenario didn't happen. It went, the better way. But I learned. Don't open a coin area of your wallet if you have coins. If you're using a bike basket that has holes in it, like, it sounds like common sense, but it's not like I've run into this problem a lot in the past. So live and learn. But it was a really easy bike ride. The bank isn't very far from our house. It is, of course, on hills because everything around here is on hills. But I was able to make my way back up hills and got back home just fine, and would do it again. As a matter of fact, probably need to do it again this week. So I might do another bank run. And that's really what I got the electric bike for. The very short, quick trips that I would normally take in a car. I'm not burning gasoline. I'm getting a little fresh air and a little bit of exercise. It doesn't take that much more time, if not just the same amount of time, maybe even quicker, because I was able to cut across a parking lot and not have to worry about traffic lights to get partly where I wanted to be. So, real easy to do that. I am definitely looking at roads differently. I'm paying attention to which of our roads have bike lanes and which do not, and which of our roads don't even really have sidewalks or any area, no shoulder, nothing for bike, use. And surprisingly, some of the roads that I would like to ride don't look at all friendly for a bike. So some of those do have sidewalks, and they aren't peopled very often. They're just sort of rural roads that have sidewalks, like in neighborhoods. And I think I would be pretty okay riding up on the sidewalk if it were heavy traffic in those areas. I know that isn't legal, as far as, like, I think, the police can say you shouldn't do that. But the only time I've ever been told by a police officer not to be up on a sidewalk was when I was in our downtown area, and there were lots of people, and he didn't want bikes to mingle with the crowd. That makes sense. I was younger then, I just wasn't thinking. But yeah, definitely bike lanes are a thing that I'm looking for. And also bike racks. Like, if you're going to go someplace, you need to be able to lock your bike up. And some businesses have them and some businesses do not. So it's kind of that thing of seeing my own town through different eyes now that I have a different mobility vehicle to see it with. And I'm sure it would be the same way if I know when I broke my ankle, I definitely looked at everything differently. All the curbs, all the stairs, all the doorways, everything was different, with a broken ankle because of how I had to move my mobility. And it's the same thing getting a bike. I suppose it was the same thing when we got our RV and I was driving a larger vehicle. I had to think about, there's drive-throughs you're not going to go through in an RV, and roads you don't really want to go on in an RV. So it's interesting to see that you can see once again, rediscover your very familiar hometown just by changing your perspective a little, like, what vehicle you're riding. So anyway, I'm looking forward to more bike rides. I have not named my bike. That is something I'm going to need to do. I'll put a little picture of it here so that you can see, or maybe I put a little picture of it before so you can see what she looks like. And if you want to help me name the bike, give me some suggestions down below. I think it's a she, as most sailing vessels are. So yeah, give me a suggestion for a name for my bike and maybe I'll pick it. That would be super fun. So anyways, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye for now.